Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about my 2023 stats and sort of use this as a goal check-in, probably more than stats. We'll run through my stats really quickly and then we'll get on to my goals and review how well I did. Spoiler alert, it's not well. So, stats-wise, I read 145 books last year, which is less than I've read in about 5 years. But I'm cool with it because I wasn't really using that as a focus last year. I spent a large portion of my time writing, and I feel like that was probably a positive move for me creatively. So I read a little less than I normally would, but I still read a large amount. There is no reason to be disappointed by my 145 books. I'm very happy with that. Just, I feel like that has affected how much that I would have read, because normally I would have read about 30 books more than that. So I feel like for me that is quite a solid number to have achieved. I read a total of 40,671 pages. I did tend to read smaller books during 2023. My average rating was 3.8, which I'm quite satisfied with. It's not super. I would have liked it to have been like 4 or something, but I did read some duds and a lot of 3 stars throughout the year, so I'm not going to be too mad. It was also the first year that I started using 0.5 stars, so a lot of things that I normally would have rated 4 stars went down to 3.5 stars, because they would have been better than 3 stars, and I'd have felt mean giving a 3 star, but things moved and adjusted. And my average page length was 280 pages, which sounds about right, really. I did 19 buddy reads throughout the year, which I'm impressed with. I definitely would like to do more this year, I think, though. I really enjoy doing buddy reads, and I have quite a few planned out for the year, so I'm really excited to do those and just like interact with people. I find it really fun to share opinions and sort of see what everyone's thinking as you're reading a book. I took part in 10 readathons, which is fewer than I normally take part in, but I think that was around the amount that I wanted to take part in. I'm definitely enjoying readathons that last a whole month rather than weekly readathons, because I just don't seem to be able to read when I'm told to read at this point in time, so I'm just like, a whole month and I can squeeze it in a month, and that makes me feel okay. In terms of the breakdown of the books that I read 7 middle grade books, 45 young adult books, and 93 adult books. My most read genre is romance, and I read 44 romance books, but technically my most read genre is actually fantasy, because if you combine fantasy, which was 27 books, and urban fantasy, which was 25 books, then we get 52 books. So technically fantasy was, but like, if we're looking at straight genres, then I'm gonna guess romance. Breaking down the format of the books that I read 6 short story collections, 10 manga, 9 graphic novels, 36 physical books, and 84 audiobooks. Gee, I wonder what is my preferred format. I would really like to work on changing my format preference this year and perhaps reading more physical books. By physical books, that does include ebooks. Basically, by physical, what I mean is read it with my eyes. So I would like to include that, but I find audiobooks more accessible for me, and personally I enjoy those a little bit more just because I can do multiple things at once, and there's not enough time in the day to do everything that I want to do, so audiobooks are always going to be higher. This year that's not going to change, but I would like to maybe hit 50 physical books this year. That would be great. That's my target that I just made up right now. I didn't have that target before this video, but now I do. In terms of series, I completed 14 series during 2023. I DNF'd 2 series. I progressed in 19 series, and I didn't touch 18. I just didn't do anything with them. Whether that was to start the ones that I wanted to start or continue with ones that I'd already started and just didn't continue with. I basically just abandoned those 18, and hopefully I can pick them up this year. Who knows? Who knows? I still feel pretty proud of my 14. It would have been great to have hit 15, but here we are. You may remember, back to around a year ago now, I started my own reading challenge. I had a map and everything. It was gonna be really cool. Well, I just failed at that completely. Just started it, did like the first month bit, failed. So maybe I'll pick that up again this year. It would be a shame to waste the map and all the planning that I did for it, but it just seemed like a thing that I would do. I managed to do 33 rereads in 2023, which is quite good, but not really as many as I thought. I seem to stick to specific series and roll with those rather than sort of branching out and reading individual stuff. I would still like to continue doing rereads in 2024 because I'm just enjoying those, and I feel like why not read what you enjoy, so I'm gonna do that. I read 6 intimidating reads in the whole year. 6. Did I decide that I didn't want to do intimidating things in 2023? Apparently so. Apparently so. I am going to be focusing on more intimidating reads, but that's because other projects that I'm doing involve intimidating reads, including reading things like the Crescent City books, because they're huge and also very intimidating, and I'm going to be sort of working on a fantasy project which involves reading bigger books. Apparently bigger books are intimidating to me, so either big books or books that have a lot of like expectation and hype around them. I obviously was like, no thank you, last year, because I did only manage 6, but like, better than none. Better than none. I also took on my David Gemmell project again last year, and I read 4 books in it, 3 of which I'd just read without reviewing. So I'd only actually reviewed 1 David Gemmell book last year. I'm so bad at this project. Why am I so bad at it? I'm just really bad at filming like individual reviews, and I get really stressed out by it, and it's a lot of pressure. It's something that I really want to do, but I just find really hard to do. So once again, gonna try and get to the end of the Dread Eye Saga this year. Set every goals video that I've ever done since starting this project. I can do it this year. I believe in myself. I'm gonna focus really hard on it. It's gonna be great. I also took part in the Buzzword Readathon Challenge and the Aurelium year-long adventure challenge, and I completed both of them. A lot of them weirdly lined up together, so I could read 1 book and it would cover both of the challenges, but I managed to read something for each of them every single month, and I'm really, really happy with that. Definitely just feel like it went really well. So I'm going to be taking part in both of those challenges for this year as well. I take on 3 A to Z challenges, not really targeted until it gets towards the end of the year when I'm like, oh, I'm really close to finishing this one, so I will actually think about it properly, but it's just really fun to see throughout the year if I'm reading things from people with different letters in different places. So the 3 A to Z challenges that I do are title of the books, I do authors' first names, and I do authors' surnames. So it's really interesting to see. I managed to complete my A to Z book title one, which I'm very, very happy about because I kind of did that at the last minute. For the first names, I had the letters I, O, Q, W, X, Y left, and I was just never going to do that when I started looking at it, and I was like, I'll just abandon the first names. But for the surnames, I had the letters U and W, and I was really annoyed that I didn't manage to get that one, but that's what happens. I was very close on all of them. I feel maybe not the first names one, but certainly the second name ones. And I managed to achieve one of them, which makes me feel really good. So we'll say that's a success, even though it's like kind of a success. And last but not least, I did set myself a 23 books to read in 2023 challenge and managed to read 14 of them. I had 9 left. I just sort of didn't want to read them as it came towards the end of the year, and I just realised that I had not really picked the right kind of books for some of those. Also, one of the books I put on there was the first Crescent City book, and I knew that I wanted to read that in January, right before the next one, so I knew I wasn't going to complete it, so I kind of just abandoned it because I knew it was never going to get completed. This challenge was kind of abandoned, and that's bad. It didn't stop me from making a 24 to read in 2024 list, but hey ho, maybe the books on there will be things that I'm actually going to read. They do count for other challenges. So I'll sort of be getting 2 birds with 1 stone in my 24 to read in 2024, because I feel like that will help me. I feel like that will make me want to do it a bit more. Not necessarily want, because it's not like I don't want to do it, it's just push me to do it. Because I'm a bit rubbish and I like to procrastinate things. I'm very good at procrastinating things. Yeah. So those were all the goals that I wanted to sort of check in on that I did throughout 2023. I was not particularly successful in some of them, and I was more successful than I thought I'd be in others. And that's about how I expected it to go. Honestly, actually, no, I am happy with myself for actually succeeding in some of them, because I'm not always great at sticking to the goals that I set for myself. Let's see how 2024 goes. What was a goal that you set yourself that you managed to stick to in 2023? I would love to know. And if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!